G'day, it's a Saint here. How you going? And I've got William Broom behind you there at the camera. Say hello, William.
Hello there.
And at the moment, people are starting to ask questions about the Australian flag, especially about the captain's choice from Tony Abbott with the whole Duke of Edinburgh, Sir Duke of Edinburgh Australian thing. People are starting to ask questions about the Australian flag. Some people are even talking about republicanism again. So this is something we've been working on with some friends of mine for the last 20 years with Australian flag for a long time. And this flag here you might have seen a few times. This is called the Horizon flag. This is called an evolutionary flag. This is the you see that? I'm not going to put it draped around my shoulders because, funny enough, I'm not really a flag waver as such. The irony is, I'm not one of those people that would wear this as a cape. I certainly hope that's not, well, it probably would if that's what Australians do. But anyway, it's called an evolutionary flag, not a revolutionary flag, because it's got the whole criteria of the sovereign position of the flag. Is the Federation Star is in the correct position. It's got the Southern Cross still there as it always was. It has our national colours down the bottom, which are wavy, so that it sort of, when it's flapping, it actually looks much more alive, and it actually looks quite good flapping when it's wavy. And so the designer has thought of all of this. It's actually quite, it looks better in real life than it does flat. This all has to do with the 3rd of the 3rd 86. Now, why is it to do with the 3rd of the 3rd 86, which is really the real Australia Day, which a lot of people might have heard me parroting about this 3rd of the 3rd thing. The 3rd of the 3rd 86 is really Australian Independence Day. There is a clause that was put into Australian law that has been signed by Queen Elizabeth, that Australia is finally, we are our own sovereign nation. That's it. Full stop. Amen. So after that, we are a sovereign nation. Okay, that's under the radar. Now the weird thing about the whole Republican debate is that they are debating about something that we already have. In a sense, we are already an independent nation. So what are they expecting? Are they expecting a big wazoo, but it's already happened? And so this is a thing where I'm bashing my head against the wall. A few others from Australian flag are bashing our heads in the wall, this is the very thing that we're substantiated the flag about, and people keep bringing up the Republican movement. And it's the same issue. And we keep trying to say, we are already an independent country. What are you talking about? These are words. We're talking about some words. We're talking about semantics here. And I don't think anyone is talking about leaving the Commonwealth. No one is talking about actually changing anything particularly. We're talking about words. So whether you're going to call the Australian head of state, what, the Governor-General, is he going to be a Chancellor? Is he going to be a President? They're words. They're titles. The Queen is a title. That's all it is, a title. And if we were a republic, she'd still be in the same position because we'd still be in the Commonwealth. It'd make no difference at all. So if it makes no difference at all, what's this thing about a referendum? We'd be back to the same place. It's already been done. Why are we reinventing the wheel again? We're done. We're already a republic. It's done. The prelude's been done. This is the whole argument. A lot of Republicans have been saying that been debating me. Have seen my Facebook page, calling me an apologist for the monarchists. No, I'm not an apologist for the monarchists. I'm just simply saying it's been there, it's staring at you in the face, and you refuse to see it. So there is no huge wazoo or revolution or anything like that, especially when it's done. I'm not against the Queen. No one is against the Queen, although when the Prime Minister does stupid things, which I'm sure the palace is very embarrassed about, people react to that, and I kind of feel sorry for the palace, really. It's embarrassing. But the sovereignty of Australia is the Federation. The Federation star, legally, is here now. And in a sense, this, legally, has more validity than the flag that you call the Australian flag, because the United Kingdom, which is usually here, is no longer sovereign. It hasn't been since 1986. So having this doesn't change anything. This represents the reality of where we are in history right now. We are a sovereign nation of our own. The Federation or the Commonwealth. That is us. That's our sovereignty since 1986. Get it? These are our national colours, right? They're on the flag. People get confused when the national colours are not on the flag. Well, there it is. It's all there. It's all there. All of it's there. Ticks the boxes. Like it or not, this ticks the boxes. This is why Oz flag likes it. It's the flag that they like the most. Now people say, oh, what about the Aboriginal flag? Should that be on the flag? Well, look, I'll put that simply. No one's thought of asking the Aboriginal people, and the Aboriginal people said no. It's their flag. So, look, we've stolen their country, we've stolen their land. Don't steal their flag, it's theirs, okay? It's theirs. Leave it alone. This is an inclusive of all Australians, everyone. And nobody's left out. And the thing is with the old flag is some people who have migrated later, they feel a little bit left out because they didn't have UK background. This is inclusive of everyone. Now, the whole basis of this is the 3rd of the 3rd, 86. And I keep bashing my head against the wall all the time about Australia Day. Alright, people rat on and on about Aboriginal people, the stolen generation, you know the stories. Yes, it's all valid. It's a big problem with Australia Day. It was an invasion. This was an invasion. It was a convict colony of Sydney. And my view is, it's Sydney Colonial Day. The rest of Australia has got nothing to do with Melbourne or Adelaide. They were all free colonies. There was no Australia. It didn't exist. So, Australia Day, I don't know what they're talking about. There was no Australia. It's Sydney. I think the city of Sydney should claim Australia Day as Sydney Colonial Day. It's a day for Sydney. It's nobody else's. You can't have it. It's ours. It's Sydney. Because the colony was in the confines of Sydney. The rest of Australia was out of bounds legally at the time. It had nothing to do with anything else. And the orders from the UK was to leave the Aboriginal people alone. That was the order from the UK. There was no massacre until Macquarie. That was one of the problems. So when he was in trouble, and he was making it too permanent. They didn't know if it was going to be permanent or not. Nobody was talking about Australia or a permanent colony. So that is another quantum leap. The real Australia came as a sovereign country the 3rd of the 3rd, 86. That's our Independence Day. Now can you imagine the celebration over Sydney, Australian Independence Day? We have come of age. When it's not anti-British, we embrace Britain as our equal, as our friend. And so there is no resentment there. And in a way it's a breath of fresh air. Now monarchists are joining Australian flag with this. Monarchists, some monarchists are now saying, well, at least this is just like Canada. Canada's got their own flag, we can have our own flag. It doesn't mean we have any problems with the Commonwealth. It's not anti-Commonwealth, it's not anti-UK, it's not against, it's none of those things at all. Canada's got their flag, we can have our flag. In fact, we have our own sovereignty. And Canada, to some extent, already has as well. So that's all it is. This is not really about republicanism, it is about reality, about where we are now. And the sooner we change Australia Day from something that's controversial, exclusive, leaves people out, upsets people, and other people are so confused, they waste themselves and self-harm themselves into drunken stupor and just embarrass the whole place, and they don't know why. and you talk about, well, maybe it's because the date represents a disaster, and they say, oh, get over it, get over it. Well, if they're not over it because they don't even know what they're celebrating, which is why it's such a mess. If it is Australian Independence Day with a purpose, you watch, the celebration will be completely different feel about it. It would be positive. It would be something about now, the future, our identity. People might actually have some respect about it. That's what's missing. There's no respect of it or people of themselves. There's a cultural cringe there. That is the problem with Australia Day. The 3rd of the 3rd, that would be gone. And I tell you what, the fireworks, you know, Sydney we would do the 4th of July out, Australia Day of Independence. It would be a party like no other in the